I just have this idea that 1942 women didn't want relationships with no future.
Oh, they wanted that. Well, I mean, as soon as they were going to have a future. They're banking on this guy, right? But I'm sure there's always been hookup culture, right? Like that's how we got that made up story about. That's how we got that made up story about Jesus.
Whoa,
like Mary clearly hooked up with.
Watch it.
Mary was
easy there, easy. Tread carefully, Kyle.
While fucking David or whatever his name was out carpentering, like Mary clearly went off with Shep, the herder. Yahweh. and like that's the fact that became the story that we tell as Christians, or they tell as Christians, however it's how far from the truth must they have twisted it that they stuck with that one. Like I feel like Jesus's mother was probably like the town pump or something like that.
Dude, like if think about in the world of like religions and mythology and all of that, like you're being asked to believe a virgin birth in that world where they're like some other guy on another street corner's like, we're living on a giant turtle in space, like that. Like they're like, I don't know. I think the virgin birth guy is a little closer to reality. So like it wasn't an unbelievable thing to them. They were already believing lots of stuff like that.
It's interesting in Christianity that it's so important for this mom to have been a virgin, right? Like the best mom ever, never even fucked anyone or something. And I wonder if the Bible wasn't that way, how it would have changed even current society. Like would virginity be less valued, important?
So I feel you're misinterpreting what it's a virgin birth, meaning a birth without consummation. She was not a virgin, nor is that implied. She was a man's wife. She was a married woman.
Audiobook by a comedian that said otherwise.
Well, then he's wrong.
Bill Burr, noted theologian.
Yeah. Kyle swishing from the 3-point line here. You're right. Yeah, she was not a virgin. It was a virgin birth.
That's a stupid thing. That's a weird distinction.
No, you're going to have to take that up with St. Peter and the pearly gates.
I'm going to do that. Get on my knees.
There's some old Jewish guys that they're going to disagree with you strongly. And if you mess with them, they'll drag you down to their holes.
They'll get you. You don't want to go get tortured with Satan for all eternity.
Those holes got filled in.
Dude, there's no way they filled in all the Jew holes. There's no fucking way. Somebody put a fucking, hey, I noticed you've been filling in the Jew holes. You like them where they are. Something happened. Somebody came along that we didn't hear anything else about that. If that had been Mexicans burrowing beneath the streets of El Paso, there'd be a fucking 6-week expose on that shit. But oh no, it's some Hasidic fellas burrowing in Brooklyn. No big deal. Don't look at that. Oh, they're not mole people, and anyone who says there are, the Mole King will have something to say about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it would have blown over if
you
it was.
Saw them pull that guy out of the ground, Taylor, out of a sewer grate, nonetheless. They had torched a sewer grate. He was a fucking modern day Ninja Turtle. He was crawling through sewer grates, and he was so skinny. It was like a magic trick when he came out. It didn't look real.
That guy was all hair.
It's the way some people describe skinwalkers sometimes, how they seem to be there and not be there at the same time, sort of flesh but fluid, changing, metamorphosizing right before your eyes. What was he before he got to the sewer grate down below? What are they down below?
What are they? Underground folks, clearly.
Mole men.
Yep,
Taylor.
you live underground, you become a mole man. I don't make the rules.
They've been living beneath New York for millennia. That's why the Native Americans sold it to us for such a pittance. Oh, yes. They're like, they said they would give us those glass beads and they would take the mole land and take upon them the curse of the mole man for all time. Oh, take the deal. Take the deal. Oh,
that is a great deal.
He goes, I already did. He's got his beads around his neck.
I am so sick of those mole guys trying to get me on a predatory loan. Yeah. Man, that story disappeared pretty quick. Like whatever ended up happening.
Clearly, there was nothing to see there.
There was
so we all moved along. When
you did like the Italian guy voice, I was laughing, thinking about like an anti-Semitic Italian New York guy who's like mad they found the tunnels because he wants to keep them there. He's like,
Yeah.
it was a fucking fine thing we had worked out. We stay on land where we belong. They stay in the tunnels where they belong. And now the fucking government's coming in telling them they can't be in their tunnels. And what does that mean for me? It means now they're walking around in my fucking neighborhood with their goddamn hats on, spitting. Like, do they spit or is it no? Chinese people spit. We're all about self-improvement.
With a
and
very
getting
niche
high.
market. It's drugs and sex. It's all we have here.
I mean, those are
every
two
now
of
and
the
then.
biggest things.
Every now and then we'll get a sponsor to be like mental health, and it's like, I mean, I bet a lot of our guys need it, but
They're like, God damn it, I'm coming, I'm high, and I'm still sad.
But I'm jacked.
When you cry in the shower all doubled up, you're not going to have that embarrassing belly. you're gonna look great. You're gonna look mean.
oh, been a while since I've cried double over in the shower. Those are sad times.
Weeks.
Is that a meme? Like, do people really like cry in the shower?
One time I did when I was like 17, you know, just real sad over a breakup.
And how long did you?
How long was I in the shower crying? Just got, to get a good cry out.
Did
You know,
the
I don't
water
cry-
As it takes, good 40 minutes.
No, we had a good water heater. Dad was all about that. No, I think I just didn't want my parents to see me crying and like, what's wrong? I don't want to fucking tell you what's wrong because that like that'll make it worse. Like, I don't want to talk about the sad
Mom,
thing.
I've been getting easy pussy and now it's gone.
And I think that's probably 17's the last time I had a doubled over in the shower crying. Although I have a good cry at least like a real meltdown cry probably every 2 months, I would say. And it's usually triggered by a fucking YouTube video with like a war veteran talking about like the shit that
But I served in a company.
I thought, some shit like that. He'll be like, I thought we was all dead. And then Mikey stood up. He was still alive. And he had the Bren gun. And them Germans never seen him coming. And I'm sitting there like, get him, Mikey. I'm like tearing up, feeling sad. Like that's the Gaston clip from Band of Brothers when that one guy is like talking about how cold Bastogne was. Sometimes it'd be a cold night. And my wife would say, oh, it's cold. She'll come to bed. And I'll say, at least it ain't like Bastogne, though. Bastogne was cold. And it's like, that doesn't really get me. But the grandpa I served with a company of heroes thing, even when Taylor says it, I'm like,
Yes. Taylor does it too well. You need to stop.
It's so
Grandpa,
funny.
were you a hero in the war?
Grandpa says,
Grandpa says no. But I served in a company of heroes.
the one that
yes.
every time I watch Medal of Honor stories, I like half of those will make me cry because the stuff the guys do is always so ridiculous. Like I remember the one Vietnam one where they have to hold it out against some overwhelming force, and he had like an artillery piece that he was firing point blank with beehive rounds, and like they kept shooting him off his gun, his artillery piece, but he kept getting back. He's like, I just thought, Lord, let me fire one more at him, and I'd get back up, load the big boy, and give him them beehives, and it'd scatter them. He'd kill a dozen of them a shot. They'd shoot me again, and I'd say, Lord, let me shoot one more. He just kept letting me shoot till I was all out. And then I looked across the way, and they wasn't no more Vietnamese. But I heard a boy crying. He was on the other side of the river. My legs was so shut up I couldn't swim no more, but they was a raft. And I got on that rubber raft, and I started paddling with my arms because they'd still work. It's shit like that. Like he got to the other side.
It was
like,
then I realized that whatever God the Vietnamese pray to is fake as hell. Jesus Christ guided my bullets right into the brains of those people.
He's like shooting
I
around.
said, Lord, help me to put down this rice farmer who's upset with our invasion. And he ghoulishly put his children behind his back. And he begged me in his goofy speak.
I said, Lord, guide me to the village that these men came from here today. Let me find their families and fall upon them with your righteous
And the Lord
love.
brought down his cleansing fire.
No, I love that shit. Dude, I didn't know Wyoming was the cowboy state until last week when we were looking at state mottos because we're, it was like 4 hours in or whatever. And but I was impressed. I don't know. I like that. I wouldn't have thought Wyoming. Seems like Texas should be the cowboy state, but I think that's just Hollywood propaganda.
Yeah,
Is it to be Oklahoma's cowboy? Isn't that what what is the OSU team called?
They're Sooners, right?
Oh, you're right.
Sooners.
Yeah.
Cheaters.
Where I got cowboy.
The cheaters.
You don't know what a Sooner is?
We call them beep.
I can't wait to fill you in on it. Maybe this does turn out good. Maybe it doesn't turn out like, lawsuits and VCs and all this other BS.
Viet
I'll fill
Cong?
you in.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Fuck,
Yes.
not again.
Pretty much. Yeah. Fuckers. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Well,
for
let's
coming
not
on.
make it
was
4
fun.
years, this next gap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you about NFT.
Do it quicker.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
so much
Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate
We
it.
always
I
enjoy
love
it.
you.
Of course, man.
Thanks,
Anytime.
All right.
Later.
Hate that guy.
He's the worst.
Fucking scumbag of the first order,
yeah,
right?
man.
Oh
Using
God, he's just so
He's such a genuine.
so hard to like him.
Friendly. Oh, what is up
I don't
with
think
this?
so.
We are not good enough. Did we fact check diseases on pilots?
Yeah, didn't they like spray the Tuskegee Airmen with like syphilis or
They
something?
used to
Like,
do that.
gosh.
They sprayed like a lot of St. Louis with shit in the 50s.
that's what's wrong with you now.
It could be
What kind of stuff did they spray St. Louis with?
head growth, the serum. Retard juice.
I got it.
No need to fact check that one.
False claims about the Tuskegee Airmen, Daniel L. Hallman. I'm just reading his list here. I will address 7 false claims about the Tuskegee Airmen. The false claim that the Tuskegee Airmen never lost a bomber. The claim that the Tuskegee Airman was an ace with 5 aerial victory credits, but one of his aerial victories was reduced or taken away. The false claim that Tuskegee Airmen were the first American pilots to shoot down German jets. The false claim that Tuskegee Airmen sank a German destroyer by strafing alone. The false claim that Tuskegee Airmen were inferior to white pilots in combat. The false claim that the 332nd Fighter Group significantly outperformed the other fighter groups. The false claim that a Tuskegee Airman flew more combat missions than any other Air Force pilot, or more combat missions as a fighter pilot in 3 wars than any other Air Force pilot. Man, I stopped caring in the middle of that. About
I did see one of them was positive, like the false claim that they were inferior.
Yeah.
And there was like a false claim that they were significantly better. Apparently, they were just like everyone else.
My guess would be that this guy's like, hey, they're trying to mythologize, I guess the word would be. Like, like this group as if they were like the best of the best. And then there are other people who are like they were the worst of the worst. And
Can you imagine how scary it would be?
Is that like, oh, yeah, of course, nobody can kill a battle ship with strafing alone. Or I guess maybe that's a common
Can you
thing.
imagine? Can you imagine you're a Tuskegee Airman? You're flying out over the Pacific. How terrifying that must be.
Terrifying. Yeah. What if your plane goes down?
Then you just drown.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't following for a while.
You just sink beneath the waves because what the fuck else could you do?
Oh, I picked up when you were putting down. It didn't even hit the ground. I caught it.
No.
You know how long it took us to teach him to fly an airplane? We didn't have time to teach him to swim as well.
That's like the kind of character they would put representing like a white major in a Hollywood movie now, where they would be some
mustache.
Like
Gus?
Wait, that's not a light switch. Wait, no, I really am all wet.
Jerry Palace.
Well, we may as well follow it up.
These